Hello children. Yesterday we have read about the viral diseases and we have read in detail about the AIDS, how a person will get infected by the HIV and what all symptoms he will show and what is the test, what are the different modes of transmission and preventive measures we have learned. So today we will go to the protozoan disorders. So in the protozoan disorders, we will be discussing about the malaria and amoebiasis. We will be discussing two diseases. Now let us go first to the malaria. Malaria, it is spread by Plasmodium species. So here we have got four different species of malarial parasite like this Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium falciparum, and Plasmodium ovale. These are the four different species of malarial parasite, and mainly the Plasmodium falciparum is very dangerous because it causes the malignant malaria. It causes malignant malaria if it is not cured in time. It leads to death. Fatal meaning death. The main important part of the body which these parasites will infect is the liver and RBCs. Liver and RBCs. Fine. And the symptoms. What symptoms does it include? Periodically, after leaving some gap, the person will suffer with high fever and the chill. It depends upon the species. Some of the species are responsible for the 8 hours gap, some 2 to 4 days gap, like this. So usually periodically we will say. Periodically the person will suffer with the chill and the fever, and this disease is spread through the bite of a female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito acts as a vector. It acts as vector. So this is about the malaria. What all things are there in the slide? Just I told. What is malaria? It is a protozoan disease. Which parasite causes this disease? It is the Plasmodium species. In the Plasmodium, four species are there, that is Vivax, Malariae, Falciparum, Ovale. Among this, Plasmodium falciparum is the dangerous because it causes malignant malaria. It is fatal if it is not treated within time. Main part of the body which will get infected is the liver and the RBCs. Symptoms, it include mainly the chill and the fever. Apart from this, it include the headache, stomach ache, and also the body ache. The person will get tired, loss of appetite. The person will not feel like having the food. So these are the symptoms. So it will be asked for 3 mark. Now let us go to the next slide. Now the life cycle of the malarial parasite. The life cycle of the malarial parasite, we have got a diagram in NCERT which you have to practice. This diagram what I am showing little later, you have to practice. The life cycle of the malarial parasite. Usually the infective stage of malarial parasite is the sporozoite. 1 mark question asked in annual exam. Fine. The infective stage is the sporozoite. You have got this on the screen. Sporozoite, and usually these sporozoites will enter into the body through the bite of a female Anopheles mosquito. It acts as a vector. The parasites, when they enter into the bloodstream, they will go to the liver cells through the blood and then attack the liver. They will enter into the liver and multiply asexually. In the liver, they multiply asexually, and then after asexual multiplication in the liver, when the liver cell will burst and the parasites will get released, they will again attack the liver cells and also RBCs. In the RBCs also, the parasite, that is the sporozoites, will multiply asexually And when the RBCs will rupture, when the RBCs will rupture, it releases the parasite as well as a toxic substance called hemozoin. It will release a toxic substance called hemozoin, which is responsible for the periodic appearance of chill and high fever. Fine. And this is about the appearance of chill and the fever. Usually, when the sporozoite will enter into the liver cell, when it will multiply asexually and a parasite. Next stage parasite, what is released is called as trophozoite. Yeah. Don't, it is not there for the theory in the NCRT, but then also just for the knowledge sake, you have to know. And when the parasites will enter, when these merozoites will enter into the RBCs, when they enter into the RBCs, they feed on the hemoglobin of the RBC. They feed on the hemoglobin of the RBC and they will grow. And when they'll be feeding hemoglobin from the RBC, they will take a different shape. They will enter into a different stage, which is very significant during the blood test. So usually the sample of the blood will be taken to see the whether the malarial parasites are there or not. During that time, a signet ring stage will appear. This you have got in practicals. I forgot to insert that slide. Next, when I come, I will insert that slide for your observation. So, you know, RBCs are spherical and biconcave. But the person who is suffering with the malaria will be having signet ring stages in between the RBCs. So that confirms that the person is suffering with the malaria. Fine. Now let me disappear for a moment because you have to see the next writing what is there on the screen. Now when the female Anopheles mosquito bites the infected person, when the female Anopheles mosquito when it bites the infected person, you know that mosquito will suck the blood with its siphon, and with the blood the parasites also will enter into it. The parasites which are there in the mosquito, it will be entering into the human body, and the parasites which are there in the human body also enters into the mosquito. And this you'll understand clearly when I will show you the life cycle. So usually the infective stage which the mosquito will release into the human body is the sporozoite. Fine. And they are temporarily stored in the they are temporarily stored in the salivary gland of the mosquito. And when the mosquito will be biting, it will be releasing the saliva just to prevent the clotting of the blood. And when it will be releasing the saliva, those sporozoites will enter into the blood of a person to whom it will be biting. Fine. And afterwards it will be sucking the blood. No. When it will be sucking the blood, the with the blood, the gametes also enters into the mosquito body. The usually when the mosquito will be sucking the blood, the malarial parasites they will be under sexual stage of reproduction. That is the gametes which are formed in the RBCs will enter into the mosquito body. Okay, now this is about the a little life cycle which I told little information. This you will understand when you will be going through the life cycle of malarial parasite. Now let me go to the next slide. Okay, when this mosquito again whatever I told it is there in the writing form. Whatever theory you have to write that is there in the writing form. And now for the first time in the body of the mosquito, especially in the gastrointestinal tract, these malarial parasites are traced by Ronald Ross. He is a doctor. He is Indian born British medical doctor. Fine. For this work, he got Nobel Prize in 1902, and he only told that the malaria will spread through the bite of a mosquito. So during Second World War, this discovery was done. And Malaria Day is celebrated on the 20th August for your GK, we can say. Now, hope you understood this one. Let me explain it through the life cycle diagram. Okay. Now, this is the diagram which I have taken from the NCRT. So, you can see diagrammatically till now whatever I told is there in the diagram. Like when infected mosquito, when the female Anopheles mosquito bites the person, I told you it will leave the saliva in the blood. Usually, why it will leave the saliva? Just to prevent the clotting of the blood. You know that our blood, when it comes in contact with the air, it will clot. So, when it releases saliva into the body, with the saliva, the infective stage of the parasites will enter, which are called sporozoite. They enter in the bloodstream. Then along with the blood, it will move to the liver. Hepatocyte. Liver cells are called as hepatocyte. And when they enter into the liver cells, they consume the content of the liver and multiply asexually. This stage of parasite is called as trophozoite. This stage of parasite is called as trophozoite, and these trophozoite, when they multiply sufficiently in the liver cell will burst and the parasites are released. The released parasites, some of them will enter the other liver cells and they destroy, and some of them will enter into the RBCs of the body, blood cells. So in the liver, asexual multiplication will be taking place, and in the RBC also asexual multiplication will be taking place. When the parasite will enter into the RBCs, I told it will eat, it will consume the hemoglobin which is there in the RBC. And when it will be consuming, at the time one stage appears which is called signet ring stage. It is called signet ring stage. It is a significant stage for the identification. I told this is there for the practicals. And then the sufficient number of parasites, when they are formed, the RBCs will burst. Here in the diagram it is shown. When the RBCs will burst, the parasites called merozoites. What are the parasites coming out of the RBCs are called? They are called merozoites. So along with these merozoites, a toxin is also released which is called hemozoin. One mark question important for the NEET and the CET. So that hemozoin, when it is released in the bloodstream, the person will suffer with the chill and the fever. So periodically, as and when the RBCs, large number of RBCs will burst, releasing the hemozoin and the parasite, at that time the person will be suffering with the chill and the fever. Fine. And these parasites, some of these parasites in the RBCs will undergo a sexual stage of development, that is they form the gametes like female gamete and the male gamete. So these in the gamete form, these RBCs will remain in the bloodstream of the person. So till now these all stages will be there in the bloodstream in the human body. So half of its life cycle will be in the human body, and the parasites will remain in the gamete form in the blood. And when the mosquito will bite such an infected person, what type of mosquito must bite? That is the female Anopheles mosquito. If other type will bite, it doesn't affect. It doesn't affect. Fine. That means the favorable conditions for the growth of the parasites are not found. That is why the life cycle will be not continued. When it enters into the female Anopheles mosquito, then only the life cycle will be continued, because in the female Anopheles mosquito, the conditions are favorable for the further growth of a mosquito. Fine. So that when the female mosquito will bite, When the female mosquito will bite, the parasites, that is the gametes will enter into the body of the mosquito and it will go to the stomach wall of the mosquito. In the stomach wall, the fertilization will take place and the zygote will develop into a stage called sporozoite. That is called sporogony. And that stage of development is called sporogony. And when the sporozoites are formed, when the large number of sporozoites are formed, they are released from the gastrointestinal tract and they enter into the salivary gland of the mosquito and they are temporarily stored over there. And when the mosquito again will bite another person, a healthy person, again it releases the saliva, and with the saliva the parasites will enter into the body of a person. So that is about the life cycle of a malarial parasite. Here the malarial parasite will release, it need two hosts. It release two hosts, that is why it is called digenic life cycle. Sometimes it is also called as digenetic. Fine. It needs two hosts, that is human body and mosquito. That is why the plasmodium is a digenic. Fine. It needs two hosts to complete its life cycle. Let me repeat once in Kannada. So malarial life cycle, this parasite ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೋಡಿಯಂ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಅಂತಾನು ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಒಳಗೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜಾಯ್ಟ್. ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೋಡಿಯಂ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜಾಯ್ಟ್. ಆ ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗೆ ಕಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಸಲೈವ ಜೊತೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ದೇಹದ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದೊಳಗೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅದ, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ, ಆ ರಕ್ತದ ಜೊತೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, ಆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಲಿವರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾವಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೋಫೋಜಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಇದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ ಬಿಡ್ರೆ ನಡೀತದೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಕು. ಆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾವಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ ಮತ್ತು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ. ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾವ, ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ತಿಂತಾವ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಬೆಳಿತಾವ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆದಾಗ ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ. ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತದ ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿನಾಗ ಹಿಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ಇರ್ತದಂತ. ಆ ಹಿಮೋಗ್ಲೋಬಿನ್ ತಿನ್ಕೋತ ಬೆಳೀತದದು. ಅದು ತಿನ್ನೋ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಭಾಳ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗ್ನೆಟ್ ರಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ರಕ್ತದೊಳಗೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ರಕ್ತ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿಗೆ ಅದ. ಆ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಮರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, ಸ್ಕೈಜೋಗೋನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಒಂದು asexual multiplied parasites in the RBC is called ಸ್ಕೈಜೋಗೋನಿ ಅಂತ. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಆದಾಗ ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿನೂ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದ, ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿನೂ ಹೊಡಿತದ. ಹೊಡೆದ ಕೇಸಿಂದ ಆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವ. ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ ಜೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ ವಿಷ ಪದಾರ್ಥ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರ, ಹಿಮೋಜಾಯಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ. ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಕ್ತದೊಳಗೆ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಚಳಿ, ನಡಗ ಚಳಿ ಮತ್ತು ಜ್ವರ, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂದು ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಪೀರಿಯಾಡಿಕಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ ಆವಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಮಲೇರಿಯಾ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್. ಚಳಿ ಜ್ವರ ಬಂತು, ವೈರಲ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಒಂದಿರ್ತದ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಪೀರಿಯಾಡಿಕಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಲೇರಿಯಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ ಮೀರೋಜಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಈ ಮೀರೋಜಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾರ್ಪಾಡಾಗ್ತಾವ. ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್, ಗ್ಯಾಮೋಗೋನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆರ್ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೋಗೋನಿ. ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂದಿನ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯರೊಳಗೆ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ತನಕ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ದೇಹ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಮತ್ತು ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಗುಣಧರ್ಮ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಕಚ್ಚಿ ರಕ್ತ ಹೀರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬದುಕೋದು, ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಗುಣಧರ್ಮ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಅದು ಸಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಿನ ಜೊತೆಯು ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ನು ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಫೇವ್ರೆಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಸ್ಟಮಕ್, ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ರೋ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನಲ್ ವಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಕರಳು ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದ. ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬೆಳೆದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಆ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಝೈಗೋಟಿಂದ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜಾಯ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಬೆಳಿತಾವಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಗೋನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಪೋರೋಜಾಯ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಬೆಳಿತಾವಿಲ್ಲ ಅವು ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನಾಗ ಹೋಗಿ ಜಮಾ ಆಗ್ತಾವೆ. ಟೆಂಪರರಿಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನಾಗ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಯಾವಾಗದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿನ ಕಚ್ಚುತ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತು ರಕ್ತದ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಲೈವದ ಜೋಡಿ ಅದು ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ದೇಹದೊಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಲೇರಿಯಾ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಾಕೋತ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಇದು ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಮಲೇರಿಯಾದ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಸ್ಕಿಟೋಗಳನ್ನು ಸತ್ತು ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು. To prevent the malarial disease, what you have to do is we have to prevent the growth of the mosquito. This you have studied in evolution. Literally you have studied in DDT resistance, natural selection you have studied. Fine. Hope you understood. You'll be writing this for the 5 mark with a diagram and these sentences. Diagram, if you feel difficult, you can write in the form of schematic presentation. Let me show you that schematic presentation. So here in the writing form it is there. Here what all things I told, it is there in the writing form. This also you can practice, and this we will give for 3 marks in the test. Fine. Now hope there is no need for me to repeat this. Then also let me repeat this one. See, the sporozoite, I told you, it is the infective stage of the Plasmodium. And with the mosquito bite, infected mosquito bite, when the sporozoites will enter, they will go to the liver through the bloodstream, and in the liver they will multiply asexually. And when sufficient number of parasites are formed in the liver cell, the liver will burst and the parasites are released into the blood. And these parasites infect the RBCs, and some of them also infect the liver. And when they infect the RBCs, in the RBC again asexually the parasites will grow, and when the RBC will rupture, the parasites as well as a toxic called hemozoin is released, and this causes periodic chill and fever in the patient, in the infected person. And some of the RBCs will develop the gametes, and in this stage they will remain in the bloodstream. And then when the mosquito bites the person, infected person, the gametocytes will enter with the blood in the mosquito body. And in the mosquito gastrointestinal wall, fertilization and development takes place. And these stages will reach an infective stage called sporozoite. It will move to the salivary gland. Then it will get stored there in the salivary gland. When again this mosquito bites a person, the infective stages will enter into his body. Thus the life cycle will complete, and the Plasmodium need to host human and the mosquito. That is why it is called digenic life cycle. Hope you'll be writing without any mistake. Now let me go to the next slide. So till now you have studied about the malaria. And you know, malaria medicine, it is we will obtain it from the cinchona plant, quinine. Fine, we will get it from a cinchona plant. And malaria is having the treatment. And in the story you have learned, you might have learned in the history that the great Alexander died. It is told that even in history a particular record is not given, but in a serial it has been shown that the Alexander died because of malaria. Fine. And the Ronald Ross discovered that the malaria is spread through the mosquito bite. So he advised during his period to avoid the bite of the mosquito. For that, he advised people to use the mosquito net and the mosquito repellents. Fine. And for that, he got Nobel Prize. Ronald Ross. He's a Indian born doctor. Indian born, but he got a citizenship of England. Let it be. Now let us go to the next disease, next protozoan disease, which is called amoebiasis. What is the next protozoan disease? Amoebiasis, which is also called amoebic dysentery. You know, we will suffer with the amoebic dysentery usually during rainy season. We will suffer during the rainy season. The pathogen which is responsible for amoebiasis is Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica. Fine. And the part of the body which will get infected by this parasite is the large intestine. Our large intestine will get infected by this parasite. And usually, what is the mode of transmission? Usually, the contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and water. But food and water will get contaminated through the houseflies. They are the mechanical vectors. These houseflies, they will sit on the fecal matter, and like that only they will sit on the food and the water, and they always will be rubbing their limbs. During this time, the infective embryonic stage, the infective stages, or you can say the parasites, will contaminate the water and the food. Thus, they will spread the disease. Now, let me just go through what is given here. Now, symptoms. Symptoms, usually the patient will suffer with the constipation, abdominal pain, and the cramps. What do you mean by cramp? ಹೊಟ್ಟಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೋತದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟು, a painful involuntary contraction of the muscles. Fine. And the stool contain the mucus and the blood clot. Usually these parasites, I told you that they will reside. They are present in the large intestine and they'll be feeding on the mucus. They'll be feeding on the mucus of the large intestine. They will be corroding, fine, the intestinal wall. Thus, the stool, or you can say fecus, contain the mucus, and in severe case, it may contain even the blood stain. So, because for this reason, the person will get stomach ache and the cramps and even the constipation. Fine. So, that is about the symptom. How the disease will spread? The disease will spread through the contaminated food and water. How the food and water will get contaminated? It is because of the house flies which are responsible for the contamination. That is why the house flies are called mechanical vectors. So these 3 points you have to remember for 3 marks. It is a question. It can be asked even for the 1 mark. Write the causative agent for amoebiasis. It is Entamoeba histolytica. And what is the mode of transmission? Contaminated food and water. How it will get transferred? How it will get contaminated? It is because of the house fly. What are the symptoms? Constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, and in the stool, the mucus will be present, and in severe cases, blood clot is also present. Apart from this, other diseases like the Kala Azar, or which is also called as Leishmania or Dum fever, it is caused by a protozoan parasite called Leishmania donovani. Fine. And it is transmitted by sandfly. And sleeping sickness, it is usually seen in the Africa. It is caused by a protozoan parasite called Trypanosoma. Mechanical vector, the vector is the tsetse fly. So this just for your GK. These 3 you have to remember. Now let me just helminthes diseases there. Let us discuss tomorrow. Today we have discussed only 2 diseases. What are the diseases which we have discussed? We have discussed the malaria and the amoebiasis. Fine. Okay children, tomorrow we will discuss the other things. Let me end the session. Fine.